When you put this in your calculator, what should you put around the top and the bottom? Yeah, put parentheses around it. So if you want to graph it first, then answer asymptotes, you can do that if you want, but it's not that hard to figure out. There you go. Domain and what? Neither on these. It's domain when it's a fresh.
That is a lot of probably, yeah. But I just got to that's the back.
No, it doesn't.
So what's the,
I know it, like, mentally, like, how to do it. Right now, it's not.
okay, so to graph it, when you put it in your calculator, it'll start. It's like it's not working. You know what's wrong? I know what's wrong. Now it'll work. All right, hit our y equals to graph it, and put it in parentheses. It will show like it's supposed to then, the top and the bottom, numerator and denominator. So these are called hyperbolas. All right, so what makes the bottom 0? Is the vertical asymptote. Okay, so I got to add 1 and divide by 3. So whatever makes the bottom, the denominator 0, is your vertical asymptote. Okay, and then that goes with your domain. X could be anything but 1/3. Okay, so when I try to graph that 1/3, it's around there. We usually make it a dashed line. Okay, so we got 2 parts of that. The horizontal asymptote is the coefficient of the x in the numerator divided by the coefficient of the y in the denominator. All right, so you got a 4 in front of the x and a 3 in front. So it's the coefficient of the numerator variable divided by the coefficient of the denominator variable. And that means your range is all real numbers except 4/3. So that's 1 1/3. So that's about like that. Okay, and then when you graph it, then you can't touch the asymptotes, so it gets really close, but it really never touches them. That's what asymptotes are. So that would be the graph, and then your vertical, horizontal asymptotes, and your domain and range. That's what we did on those. Yeah. Okay. There's Ethan. Thanks.
Yep.
Questions? That wasn't that long ago, was it? When we did those? Any questions? All right, let's go on to 17, if there's no questions. We have to solve that equation. All right, I'll give you a couple minutes to do it. Hint, find common denominator. And we use that common denominator to get rid of the fractions. That's the first step. Figure out what the common denominator is, and then use it to get rid of those fractions. How do you use it to get rid of those common denominators? Or how do you use the common denominator to get rid of the fractions? What do you do? Well, kind of. We multiply the whole equation by the common denominator. That will eliminate the fractions for you. So that's what you're going to do. So go ahead and do that. See if you can get it. Yeah, but this is also part of the common denominator. Yeah, so this is still there. It's just that. Right? This one, so it's here. It's close, but when you do this, multiply everything by the common denominator. Can't figure that out.
Plus or minus? So when you multiply this by the common denominator, that's all you have. So all you really need is this.
I don't know. I think overall they got like 10.
Basically.
Yeah, because what's this equal? And what happens
What?
to these then?
Oh, before, yeah. I got like a P7.
Right, they cancel. So they x squared.
Something like that.
I think it's positive for
So if they have x minus 2, those cancel.
it. Minus.
But you keep the x, so you times that by.
Oh, it's negative 2. That's negative. Right.
Well, since this x is canceled, times
That's why. Yes, you can use both sides of your card.
I'm starting that too.
So what is the common denominator, Sky? And? Yeah, both of them. If you can't factor them, what do we say? Write it down, right? If it shows up, write it down, okay? So when x showed up and an x minus 2 showed up. So I'm going to multiply the whole thing by x and x minus 2, okay? Because I can't factor either one. Okay, so when I multiply, here's the problem. We don't usually show this. What do you get? 5x over 1, right? Or just 5x. And then when you put negative 2 over x times x and x minus 2, what cancels? The x's, right? So you get minus 2 times x minus 2. I guess I should move that over. Let's see if I can move it. And then equals, and then over here I'm going to go x plus 3, this fraction, times, and those cancel again. So this side is x times x plus 3. So that's what it looks like now. That's why we do that. So we get rid of the fraction stuff. Now distribute your negative 2 and your x. So you get 5x and then negative 2x plus 4. When I distribute, equals x squared plus 3x. Okay, combine like terms, 3x plus 4 equals x squared plus 3x. If I bring this 3x over, what happens to the x's? They go away, right? So I have this equation. What do I do to solve that? Square root both sides, right? And remember, it's plus or minus 2 equals x. Now, you're supposed to check your solutions on these rational equations, these equations with fractions. If I plug 2 in for x right there, what happens? What do you get? 0. Is 2 a good answer? No. If I put negative 2 up there, is it okay? Yeah, so the positive 2 is not a good answer. The only answer that works is negative 2. So on that type of problem, check. Make sure that the answer is okay, that you don't get a 0 in the denominator when you re-plug it in to check. Connor, you have a question?
Yeah, what is like x to the plus? Ooh, you were just okay. Yeah, never mind.
The positive doesn't work. Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Anything else? Okay. Now the next one, oh, that's just division. Quotient means divide, right? All right, so hint, factor, and then multiply by the what? I thought I heard somebody say it. Reciprocal, right? So factor what you can factor, then multiply by the reciprocal and see what happens.
Good. I don't like it. I don't like it. Just wrote X. That's all I have to start. Yeah.
We're launching tomorrow.
That's all you got. Come on, good. You're good investor. I'm the one factors. That. I don't agree with you wrong, but.
So it's
Yeah. No, you're not.
It's 2 layers. All the pages are 2 layers. There's like 4. So we just rested
That's what it's going to look like when you factor it, right? So what are the factors of positive 2 that add up to negative 3? Negative 2 and negative 1. Thank you. What are the factors of negative 8 that add up to positive 2? Positive 4 and a negative 2, right? What are the factors of negative 3 that add up to positive 2? Factors of negative 3. Right, positive 3, negative 1. So do you see any common factors, top and bottom, that you can eliminate or cancel? Yeah. I see an x minus 2 up top and an x minus 2 on the bottom. Anything else? Top and bottom? X minus 1. X minus 1, right? Now, what's my numerator? What's my answer? 1. What's my denominator? x plus 4, and
X plus 3.
x plus 3. Okay? So, division problem, factor what you can first. Remember to multiply by the reciprocal. Multiply straight across, right? Straight across the top, straight across the bottom. Okay? Questions? Okay. Number 19. You have to find common denominator. Rewrite with common denominator, then add. All right? Go ahead and try it. Find your common denominator by factoring. You know, I guess I should put that in there, right? Factor the denominators so you can figure out your common denominator. Rewrite both fractions with the common denominator. And then you can add the two fractions and then make sure it's in simplest form. You might be able to simplify your fraction after you add. Yes, sir. Okay. You're welcome. Hayden, Mr. Libby would like to see you right now.
Good.
Doesn't help him. Doesn't help.
Yeah.
Saw your brother with somebody last night at a little kid's t-ball game.
Oh yeah, that's one of my boys. He's a little bit.
Who was you with?
Alex Berger.
Berger?
Where was the game?
It was just here on up there by the
Little T-ball.
old little t-ball field.
I'm trying to do my work.
Yeah, what's the matter?
Keep distracted from this nonsense.
Nonsense. Did you run last night?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
I did the verbatim, but
All right.
Yeah.
Did you make it to the regionals? No.
I got the 2 mile road right up.
Friday, 2 mile.
That's
Yes. How'd you do? They did everything? Nice. Congrats. PRs? What'd you get?
That's not right.
Yeah, you're right. That's fine. Kaylee? What does this denominator factor to?
X minus 7, X plus 3.
Any questions on, let's draw a line here. That's that denominator factor. Can you factor the other denominator? No. So, whatever shows up, what do we say? Write it down for the common denominator. So, we're going to rewrite both fractions with the x minus 7 and the x plus 3. Okay? Before we can add fractions, we have to have that common denominator. All right. So looking at the first fraction and the original denominator, is there any change? No. So do I do anything to that 7? No. That didn't change. I just have it in factored form, that's all. Now, look at the original denominator for the second fraction. It was x minus 7. What did I do to it? I multiplied by x plus 3. So what do I have to do to the 2? The same thing, right? I have to go 2 times x plus 3 for that one. Remember that? Now, before we can add, I got to distribute that too. I have to do that multiplication before addition. So I distribute and get 2x plus 6. So now I can add those two. My denominator won't change. It stays. And I combine like terms. There's nothing over here, nothing x plus 2x is 2x. And then 7 plus 6 is 13. Now you can try to factor the numerator to see if you can simplify. Is there any GCF for the top? Is it a difference of squares or anything like that? No, so we're done. Can't factor the numerator, so you can't simplify that fraction. So we just added those. So maybe on exam it might be a subtraction problem, but still find the common denominator, rewrite them, and then add or subtract whatever you're supposed to do, and then simplify if possible. This one wasn't possible to simplify. Questions? This was probably the hardest stuff in this chapter, was this adding and subtracting, because it took us a while. All right, last one for today. All you got to do is tell me the vertical asymptote. How did we find the vertical asymptote on that first one? Where did we look? The denominator, right? So look at the denominator. Real easy. What? What makes that denominator 0? Yeah, -7. So all you do is look at this. Okay? Simple. Right, Brandon? Any questions? Gavin, you all right?
I'm all right.
All right. Good job. One more day. If you have a book, make sure you bring it tomorrow, please. So that's all taken care of. I think a new book, if you lost it, is $100.